Hello everyone, welcome to the YouTube channel of Victory IS. In this session, we shall be talking about a topic of current affairs which is related to leopards and in particular snow leopards. So, if you come across the newspaper, you'll find that the news related to leopards and snow leopards keep on coming in the newspaper every now and then. And these topics are significantly important for the prelims examination, considering the fact that the statement based questions related to environment from wildlife, especially the wildlife which remains in news, have been asked several times. Almost every year, you'll find a question related to one or the other wildlife. So, there are certain limited facts that UPSC has a habit of asking. There is a pattern which has been observed. So, we'll try and understand those facts which are important with respect to this wildlife, the leopards and the snow leopards. So, but before coming to the distribution, where they are found, what is their status, before coming to all those things, let's talk about what exactly is difference between these two, the common leopards and the snow leopards. So, first thing you should know that news related to both keep on coming, and more or less both are same thing. They have a minor difference. First of all, both belongs to cat family, so they belong to Panthera family. So it is the same family to which the tiger belongs to. So snow leopard as well as leopards belong to tiger family, or say cat family, or Panthera family. To be more uh, scientific, it is Panthera family. So leopards, when you talk about leopards, leopards are mostly found in the hilly and forested areas. Let me change the color. They are mostly found in hilly and forested areas of Asia as well as Africa. And the snow leopards, they are also found in hilly areas, but hills have to be of the size, that height has to be more than 3500 meters. So it is found at a height of nearly 50, 3300, 3500 to 5500 meter. This is the elevation that is needed for the habitation of the snow leopards. As the name suggests, there has to be presence of snow. So that is why we say that they are mostly found in alpine or subalpine regions. And because they are found in the snow laden areas, so that is why they have whitish coat. The skin cover is slightly whitish. But when it comes to common leopards, the skin color is yellowish, or say some golden in color. So this is common leopard. This is the common one, and this one is snow. So now I hope that you can understand why it is whitish, because of its geographical location where it is found. It is mostly found in alpine and subalpine region. That is why they are whitish in tone. That is the adaptation that they have to that geographical condition. Then they have long tails. Appearance wise, they have whitish coat, whitish skin color, and long coat. And they have relatively shorter tail. They have long tail, they have shorter tail. Then they are bigger in size. If you talk about common leopard, they are much bigger in size compared to the snow leopards, which are up of the size of say 25 to 40 kg. So they are relatively smaller because the areas, the geographical area where they are residing, they cannot have a very bulky body and climb up the mountains. That would be difficult. For that reason, they have a smaller body. In fact, the snow leopards are said to be one of the smallest species of entire cat family. So in the entire cat family, they are among the smallest snow leopards. Okay, so this is broadly the difference between the two that we are going to talk about. And why we are discussing this, what I'm trying to say, that when I say every now and then the news related to this keeps on coming, I'm trying to say is that if you look at a news wherein, if you know about a wildlife sanctuary in Delhi called Asola Bhati Wildlife Sanctuary. So it is at the border of Delhi and Haryana in Aravali range. Aravali range, I hope you know that, starting from Gujarat and extended till Haryana and Rajasthan. So in this range, there is Asola Bhati Wildlife Sanctuary, which is in Delhi. And over here, from 1940, there have been no sightings of the leopards. We are talking about common leopards here, because this is a plain area. In plain areas, the common leopards would be found. So since 1940, we had no sightings of the leopards in this wildlife sanctuary, but in 2019, there were pub marks that were seen in this sanctuary. So the surveys were conducted, and later on, it was seen that 8 leopards were sighted in this wildlife sanctuary. So this was in the news. Then you'll come across a country called, if you have heard of, Zambia. Zambia is an African country in southern part of Africa. Over here, it is a landlocked country. So there is a national park called Kafue National Park. So in this Kafue National Park, the numbers of the leopards and lions have increased. So since these are the wildlife, and increase in the number is a good news. So again came up in the news. So again related to leopards. So question related to leopards become important. Every year on 10th February, International Arabian Leopard Day is celebrated. International Arabian Leopard Day is celebrated every year on 10th February. So don't you think it will come in the news again every year? So that is why I'm saying that it keeps on coming in the newspaper. So there are certain things that you cannot forget about the leopards and snow leopards in order to clear the prelims examination. So let's have a look. Let's have a brief look considering the importance of the prelims examination with respect to leopard species. So as I already said, leopard and snow leopards, they both belong to cat family, Panthera family, the family to which tigers belong to. Second thing, I told you that leopards are found in Africa and Asia both. They are found in the hills and the plains. Mostly, if I talk about India, so it is mostly in central India. See, they are not going to ask you question related to Africa and all. Just remember those names, the name of the national park that was there in Jamibia, that was in news. Otherwise, no details of it is needed. But with respect to India, there are things which are important. So in India, they are found in hills and plains of India, especially central India. Central India means MP, Maharashtra, Karnataka. And then Eastern Ghats. If you know, peninsular India is surrounded by Western Ghat and the Eastern Ghat on the western edge as well as on the eastern edge. So on the Eastern Ghats, we have abundance of leopards being seen. But when I'm saying leopards, we are over here, they are mostly the common leopards. They are mostly the common leopards because you can understand the hills over here do not have the alpine range, do not have the snow covered. So, snow leopards would be found in the areas where the elevation of the mountain is about 3500 or minimum 3000 meters, up to 5000 or 5500 meters. So, over here, common leopards are found mostly in central India, especially MP. MP has the largest number of the leopards found in India. So, if I give you the latest report, the latest status report of the leopards in India of 2019, it says that there are nearly 14,000 leopards in India. 14,000 leopards are there in India, and out of this 14,000 leopards, 4,000, I'm giving you the approximate number, nearly 4,000, 3,900 something are found in MP. It is 13,700 something. So, again, remember the rough number. So, out of 14,000, nearly 4,000 are found MP itself. So, MP has the largest number of the leopards in the country. Then, second is Maharashtra, third is Karnataka. So, that is what I am saying. In the central India and in the eastern Ghats, most of the leopards of India are found. And when it comes to snow leopards, just a second, guys. When it comes to snow leopards, they are found in Himalayan states, the western Himalaya as well as eastern Himalaya. So, the highest number is in Ladakh. Now, since Jammu and Kashmir has been bifurcated into Ladakh and Jammu and Kashmir, so highest number of snow leopards are there in Ladakh. If you talk about the total number of leopards in India, it is in the range of 700 to 800. The snow leopards, which is of smaller size, I have told you in the beginning itself. So, सबसे ज़्यादा number is in Ladakh. Then, second is Uttarakhand. Third is, these numbers you should know only Ladakh. Other than that, I don't think that there would be a question, but just I'm telling you. Then Himachal Pradesh, then Arunachal Pradesh. Then Sikkim, and then in the least number are in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. So, these are the states which have the presence of snow leopards, which provide the habitation to the snow leopards. Okay, so this would be the fact related to the leopards and the snow leopards. Now, coming to their IUCN status. What is the IUCN status of the common leopard as well as the snow leopard? So, both are under vulnerable category. I hope you know that there are 9 categories under IUCN list and they are placed under vulnerable category. The good part with respect to common leopard is, with respect to India especially, that their population is stable. At least their population is not declining. But when it comes to snow leopard, their population is declining. So, let's first see the efforts that have been taken in order to conserve their population. why the population is stable or why there is a declining in the population. So we'll talk about the reasons for the the different kinds of threats that these leopards are facing. Okay, so before that, let's talk about the conservation efforts. So when it comes to conservation efforts, you should know that there are two methods, which are two approaches that are being used in order to conserve a wildlife. One is called in situ method and another one is called ex situ method. So under in situ, as the name itself is clear, at the place of habitat they are being conserved, and outside their natural habitat they are conserved, that is ex situ. So in situ, if you know, there is a project called Secure Himalaya, which is UNDP funded project, United Nations Development Program funded project, which aims to obviously protect the habitats, and obviously once the habitat is protected, the wildlife associated with that habitat will also be protected. So this is a very important in situ method of protecting the uh, leopards or snow leopard. Then ex situ, you know, a number of wildlife sanctuaries are there, a number of tiger reserves are there, a number of national parks are there. All these protected areas aim to protect the leopards and the snow leopards wherever they are found. So if you know, tiger reserves such as Panna Tiger Reserve in uh, MP. Then, if you know, Satpura Tiger Reserve, again in MP, Madhya Pradesh. Then, if you know, Naga Arjun Sri Salam Tiger Reserve in Andhra Pradesh. So, these are the protected areas, but they are the protected areas outside their natural habitat. Okay, so this is how they have been protected. Over and above this, you should also know that there are certain legislations, there are certain projects that will aim to conserve these leopards. So, one legislation which is valid uh, in every wildlife, which is Wildlife Protection Act. So, Wildlife Protection Act of 1972 puts leopards and snow leopards both into Schedule 1 category. So there are six lists which is maintained by Wildlife Protection Act of 1972, and this is the highest degree of protection given to a particular wildlife. So all those six, they are important for the examination, but we'll discuss that sometimes later. But you should know that this is put under Schedule 1 list of the Wildlife Protection Act 1972. Okay, then there is a snow leopard project launched by Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change in 2009, aiming to conserve the population of the leopards, especially the snow leopards. Then at the international level, there is a convention called CITES. CITES is Convention for International Trade of Endangered Species of Flora and Fauna. So it maintains two lists under Appendix 1 and Appendix 2. So these snow leopards and the leopards are put under Appendix 1, again given the highest degree of protection when it comes to international trade of these species. So this is how the efforts have been made at the national as well as at the international level in order to protect the uh, declining population of these species. Now coming to the threats or the challenges in the conservation of these species. So first is obviously that uh, loss of habitat. So their natural habitat has been destroyed for a number of reasons. Maybe deforestation, maybe industrialization, maybe urbanization, mining. So for a number of reasons, this natural habitat of these species have been destroyed. That is the first problem, first challenge, first threat. Second, that if you destroy their habitat, natural habitat, what is the option? They'll come to the human settlement, and then there would be animal human conflict. Animal human conflicts. And it has been increasing. If you follow the newspaper, you'll get to know that this animal human conflict is increasing and is primarily attributed to the loss of habitat because of a number of anthropogenic factors, as well as natural factors are also there. Sometimes forest fire is there, but mainly it is because of the human factors. Then there is something called poaching, then illegal trafficking of these animals. So, despite laws in place, but these things are common, these things are happening in the areas where they are found. And because of this, these species are facing some kind of threat in the country as well as outside the country. That is why, under IUCN list, they have been uh, put under vulnerable category. They requires greater efforts by including the local community, by educating and creating some kind of awareness with respect to their importance in the ecosystem. Once these things would be done, there are chances are highly likelihood that we would be in better position to conserve, we would be in better position to live in peace and harmony with the animals. So this would be all for the day. Thank you so much.